Hello and welcome to Cherries Red Army. International break is over. Club football is back and we are back live and interactive on YouTube and Twitter. So go subscribe if you're new around here and also hit the like button. Look, it's up there, that side. Hit the like button on this video to help it grow between now and kickoff. We will very much appreciate that. We've got lots to talk about. Dom Solanke signed a new contract. We're going to look at the September fixture list and we're also going to preview Chelsea. Got some teammates coming on in a moment, but got some exciting news for you. You've been following Cherries Red Army for nearly 3 years. It's taken that long. We are finally an audio podcast as well now. So if you go and check out one of your favorite apps, hopefully we're on there. We're not on all of them yet, but we are definitely on Spotify and some of the favorite ones. So go check us out. You can listen to us as an audio, but your best experience is here on YouTube with visuals and audio. But we are a podcast, so please do go follow us and share that around as well. So Bournemouth, we've had a tough start to the calendar in the Premier League. September doesn't get any easier. But can we continue some of the good form we've created in some of those matches already? Can we maybe take a chance on creating more havoc for Chelsea, who haven't had a great start either? Let's get our guests on. You let us know that you're in the chat. This is Cherries in Focus, episode 9. Let's go for it. Episode 9 of Cherries in Focus. Aaron, Kaye, how are you? How would you summarise your international break?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Seems a long time since the Brentford game now. But yeah, look, I think none of us really love the international breaks. I think from the club's point of view, it was probably a good thing to get some injured players back and a bit more fitness into some of them. And yeah, I watched some of the England-Ukraine game. I was more interested in Zabani's performance than anyone else. I thought he was great. Caught bits of the England-Scotland friendly. Obviously, it was far more important for them than it was for us. But again, Ryan Christie looked bright when he came on, made a difference. So yeah, all in all, looking forward to club football again.
We've got a green theme going on down the bottom here. Let's go to Steve Hensman first. Green theme, is it Brazilian? Looks like it. How was your international break?
Yeah, it's all good, mate. Thanks for having me on again. Yeah, much like Aaron said, we were just sort of keeping an eye on our international players and making sure they didn't pick up any injuries, and hope they all come back fit, because we could do without any more injuries, to be honest. And yeah, a few of them put in some reasonably good performances out there, did themselves no damage.
And it's always great to have this guy on the channel. James Musselwhite, how you doing? That's also a very nice green top as well. So welcome to the stream. How was your international break?
My international break was tepid. Thank you very much for the invite to come onto the show tonight. I very much appreciate it. Answers in the chat. Which top is this and which year is it from? I will take only specific answers.
Go in the chat. As we go in the chat. Let's see who's joining us this evening. Stephen Dyer from up north. How are you? We've got Chris Hubble, Sammy Nell, Mark Cole, Cameron Meach, Josh Wyatt, Alan, Mark Singleton, Gladstone, Rob Omid, and Nick Jenkins. Anyone else that is joining us, do let us know in the chat. This is your show as well, so make sure you get your thoughts in there. And James does want to know his question: what top is it? So do get them in there. What I was thinking, guys, we've had an international break, right? And I feel like we need a bit of a warm-up. We have got some things to discuss that's been going on around the club, and we've got a big game on Sunday, but we need a bit of a warm-up, and I think we haven't had a real quiz game for a while. I don't know what you're thinking. Those in the chat, they don't even know this is coming, by the way. I haven't prepared them at all. But I feel like we need a little game. So we're going to get going with a little quiz game. You can play in the chat. And we're going to call it Guess the Career Path. We're going to tell you the rules in a moment, guys. But that's the title of the game, Guess the Career Path. And James, as you're the guest, you've been on here many times. You are the guest tonight. Do you want to go first, or do you want the other guys to go first and you can see what it's all about?
Do I want to take the mystery quiz that we didn't know about first? Absolutely not. I want someone else to go first, please. Thank you.
Who would you like? Would you like to pick who goes first, or do you want me to do it?
Aaron's very confident. I think we'll let Aaron go first.
So play
Glad
along
you have
in the
confidence
chat.
in me. Yeah.
So it's guess the career path. What's going to happen is I'm going to put an image on the screen with some funky music and 20 seconds for you to think about it. Gives an opportunity for the chat to have a guess as well. And I just want to know who you think the player is, and you'll see AFC Bournemouth in that career path. It's as simple as that. If you get it right after 20 seconds when I ask for the answer, Aaron, you'll get 3 points. And then I might ask you a couple of questions about that relevant player for an extra 2 points. 5 points available. If we have a draw, we'll have a sudden death. It is as easy as that. Okay. So I've got 3 career paths. Do you want 1, 2, or 3?
Go down the middle. 2, please.
2. So you want career path 2. So play along in the chat. Some funky music coming your way, Aaron. I will call out the teams. Hopefully you can hear me. And then I'm going to ask you for the answer. You ready for it?
Yep.
And hopefully this does play.
Are you ready? 20 seconds start now.
Here comes the career path of 2. We have got guess the career path. Coleraine, Torquay United, AFC
10 seconds
Bournemouth,
remaining.
Leeds United, and Luton Town. So who
5,
is this person we are
4,
talking about? We do have some guesses
3,
in the chat.
2,
Aaron, we are coming to you
1.
very soon.
Gosh,
Time's up.
that was quick.
That was quick.
Coleraine is Irish, is it? I'm guessing that. I'm struggling here, but the only one I can think of immediately is Ewan O'Kane, but I don't think it's. I'm not sure if it's him.
Okay, so we'll come to your question in a moment, James, that you asked at the very, very start. But Mark Cole's gone for O'Kane. So your guess is for Ewan O'Kane. Is that correct?
Yeah, and the Torquay. I think he played for Torquay, and the first club was Irish. So I'm guessing on that, but I can't remember if he went to Leeds or Luton. So I'm not sure.
Okay, so Aaron's going
Leeds.
for Ewan O'Kane, and the answer is Ewan O'Kane. So 3 points for Aaron. Well done to anyone in the chat. Now, for an extra 2 points, Aaron, Ewan O'Kane has been sent off once whilst playing for AFC Bournemouth. Is that true or false?
I can't remember it, so I'm going to have to say false.
That's correct. He was sent off once in his career for Leeds United. All this data has been gathered by Transfermarkt if anyone wants to challenge it. So it's off Transfermarkt. Second question, Aaron. Can you name the team that Ewan O'Kane scored for AFC Bournemouth in the Championship? So it looks like Ewan O'Kane got 1 goal in the Championship. Can you name the team he scored against in a 3-0 win?
No, I'll have a guess, but I've got no idea. Middlesbrough.
Go for a guess.
Middlesbrough, no idea.
Middlesbrough. Incorrect. The answer is Yeovil Town. So that's 4 points for Aaron. A good confident start. So Steve, you've seen how it works now. So you're feeling more confident?
Absolutely not. No.
So you've got career path 1 or career path 3. What do you want?
I can't even remember my own career path, let alone anyone else's.
Career path 1 or 3?
Go on then, hit me.
Go
Sorry,
for-
I'll go for 1.
Go for 1. Okay. Career path 1. Again, have your guesses in the chat.
Are you
Here we go.
ready? 20 seconds start now.
Music. Career path 1 was Portsmouth, Tottenham Hotspur, Birmingham City, Wolverhampton Wanderers,
10 seconds
and
remaining.
AFC Bournemouth. Go for it in the chat.
5, 4,
What is your guess?
3,
Who are we talking
2.
about?
1. Time's
There's
up.
plenty of time. Absolute loads of time. Have you got it, Steve? Who's the player?
No, no idea.
Do you want to have a guess?
Who we had off Pompey? It's not going to be someone like David James, is it?
Is that your guess?
Yeah, I don't know. No, I was trying to think who we've had off Wolves.
Hmm.
That's the thing. Directly from Wolves. Oh, hang on. Is it Bennick?
Benicophobe. I'm going to take
No.
that answer. Now, some in the
That's
chat.
the only one I can
and
think of. It just came to me.
Mark Cole's gone for Anderton.
Oh, yes.
Higgs has gone for Anderton.
Higgs.
Sammy's gone for Anderton. And Chris Hubble has gone for Anderton. I probably didn't even disable the chat. Career path 1
No,
was...
That's what's worse about it, because I could have read the chat and still got it wrong.
I don't remember him playing for Wolves, but yeah.
Okay.
Good one.
Basically,
Steve,
he didn't exist to me until he was in a Bournemouth shirt, so not interested.
there is an opportunity, by the way, to get some points on the board here. Question, you're not going to get enough to try and win, but you've got a couple of questions. Darren Anderton did not register 1 assist in 24 appearances for Wolves. Is that true or false?
In how many?
24.
24.
Yeah. Didn't get 1 assist for Wolverhampton Wanderers. True or false?
It's very unlikely he didn't get 1 assist. False. He must have got 1.
So you go false. Transfer marked says it's true. Says he hasn't got any assists for Wolves in 24 appearances. Apparently. Question 2. Can you name the team that Darren Anderton scored a hat-trick against for AFC Bournemouth in a 5-0 win?
I'm not going on mastermind as my specialist subject.
Have you got the answer, Steve? Sorry, we lost you there. It's like he pulled his signal, guys.
He's having connection issues.
Have we got any guesses in the chat?
No, sorry. Can you hear me? Because I'm having really bad problems.
Yeah, we've got you now.
What was the question?
The question was that Darren Anderton scored 1 hat-trick for AFC Bournemouth in a 5-0 win. Do you know the team he scored it against?
Yes, because and I'm not looking at the chat, but it was Orient. But we were looking at this the other week, weren't we, with the hat tricks? And I looked up hat tricks, and I forgot he had one. Yeah,
so there we go.
It was the only one he ever
Steve
got.
Point. And he's battling with Wi-Fi at the moment, so we've got to give Steve something. So there we go. James, look, you've seen it played out twice now, so nice and easy.
That was
for
worth
you.
20 points. That one, wasn't
it? 4 points, James, for you to beat. And then we'll get on with the serious AFC Bournemouth communication. All right.
Okay. Or we'll just do more quizzes. I don't mind.
2 more quizzes. Well, we've got to come to your quiz in a moment at the start of the stream. Right. Here we go. Here's your 20 seconds. This is your career path 3.
Are you ready? 20 seconds start now.
I like the music. Music's good. It's a nice choice.
Bashley, AFC Bournemouth, Burnley, Birmingham City, and Bristol
10 seconds remaining.
City. Guess the career path for this former AFC Bournemouth player.
4.
Guessing in the chat.
Who ended up at
3,
Bristol?
2.
They've gone.
1.
Right, so it's obviously someone who's gone with Eddie to Burnley, I'm guessing.
Why couldn't I have that one?
Right. I'll swap with you. Okay, I'll swap. Darren Anderton for Steve's. Got that straight away. So it's obviously someone that's followed Eddie. Someone that's followed Eddie to Burnley, and then I think did like Liam Feeney go to like Birmingham and was like. There's a slew of players that played under Eddie in like League One, League Two that were brilliant under Eddie, and they're not that great when they moved on. Liam Feeney, I don't know, maybe Liam Feeney.
Let's get some of the guesses out in the chat.
Elliott. Oh, it is Wade Elliott. Damn it!
Yeah.
After we played them in the cup, they stole all our players.
Also say, by the way, they had no clue about this. Absolutely none at all. So guess the career path of number 3 was Wade Elliott. The chat are on it.
I think Liam Feeney went to Coventry, didn't he, or somewhere?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, carry on. What are my questions about? What are my questions about Wade Elliott?
Let's get the questions out because Aaron's won, so he's going to drink his champagne. But the questions were: Wade Elliott scored 23 goals for AFC Bournemouth and 30 goals for Burnley. True or false?
He didn't score as many as 30 for Burnley. False.
That's false. That's correct. It's the other way around. Absolutely correct. 1 point there. Can you name the team beginning with W?
Can I name? Yeah,
Wade
I can.
scored his first goal against.
Well,
So
Wade scored his first goal
for AFC Bournemouth against the team starting with W.
Let's have a punt that he scored against in the cup, probably as a debut. Do you know what? Let's go the fashionable, the Hollywood team. Let's go Wrexham. Let's say we were playing Wrexham down there in the Dogs. I reckon it was against Wrexham.
Well, you're stuck on one like Steve because it was Wycombe Wanderers.
Okay, whatever. There we go.
But there was a bit of fun in there. There was also some guesses for your shirt in there for Zimbabwe, James. So enlighten us.
Yeah, it's Zimbabwe away. I bought it because I thought Jordan Zamora was going to be like the next big thing, and now he's not playing for us. But Zimbabwe away 2018. Someone even called it in the chat that it was 2018 as well. So fair play to you.
Fantastic. A bit of fun there. Let's get a warm up in. It's been a few weeks since we've done a live stream, but let's get on to AFC Bournemouth news, guys. And not part of the content this evening, but it's out straight away this morning. Dom Solanke signs a new deal. He had a good, healthy deal anyway, James, but he's penned an even bigger deal. Probably been enhanced on wages, but it does show commitment to the club. It shows respect to the club. It secures the club if he does move on. And for me, James, it enables Dom Solanke to focus on what he needs to focus on and becoming an even better footballer, and more importantly, score more goals.
Yeah, that's his job. That's what we want from him. If that's what Areola wants from him as well, I think what it does is it really cements the fact that Andoni Areola sees him as part of the squad, part of the first team moving forward, and a really important key component of that, whatever role he ends up playing. And the first few games in the season, he's playing a very similar role to what he's done before. I was looking at his statistics earlier, and it's sort of like a goal one in every 3.5 games for Solanke over the course of his Bournemouth career, which isn't bad for a striker. Unfortunately, most of those goals came in one season in the Championship. He scored 29 in one season. I think he's on 57 altogether, so nearly half of his goals came in that one season. But I'm excited because I want to see what he does under this new manager, under this new system, and with the new players that we've got playing behind him that are hopefully going to propel him to scoring more goals.
Steve, it doesn't mean that he'll be the main man for the next 3 or 4 years. It does give him an opportunity to develop and be a big star for us. We know that fans are calling for more goals, but we know he does more than that. But he's enjoyed his time here. He got his chance when Callum Wilson moved on. And it's a good move by the club, because in the last few years, we've lost some top players for nothing, and we might continue to lose 1 or 2 for nothing. So it's a good deal all round.
Is that to me?
No, it's to Steve.
To Steve.
Sorry, so can you hear me?
Yeah, just about, yeah.
So I'm going to drop out because I can't hear what's going on.
Oh,
take that on, Aaron. Take that on what I just said. Probably don't need to repeat the question, but we are live. This is what happens. We're a podcast now as well, so I'm not sure how this is going to play out on Spotify. But Aaron, take on the question. Dom Solanke, new deal.
Yeah, look, it's great news because he's 26, just 26, really reaching his prime, and I think we're going to see the best of him. He started the season really well, 2 goals in 4 games, on track to comfortably beat last season's number, which I think by his own admission, probably was much lower than he would have hoped for. So yeah, as I think we've all talked about Dom and his what he can bring to the team. What he does is so much more than his goals. Obviously, as James said, and I think a lot of us really see is he is the main goal scorer for us. He's the main number 9 at the club. And we do want to see more goals from him. But, if he can get involved in all sorts of ways, then that's great. And obviously fits into the Areola system. And I'm also pleasantly surprised to see today that he's so far this season is the quickest player in the Premier League, which did surprise me. According to the top speed so far, 36.1 kilometers an hour, just beating Anthony Gordon. I'm sure there are quicker players in the Premier League, some of whom play for us. So surprised at that. But yeah, Dom, yeah, as I said, reaching the 4 years now from 26 to 30 in his prime, and hopefully can only go from strength to strength for us.
Great news. Dom Solanke until 2027, and hopefully he can start finding that back of that net a little bit more often for us, and we'll start climbing the table. James, September. We know that we got 1 point from Brentford. We got 2 points on the board in the Premier League at the moment. We know we've had a tough start. Doesn't get any easier. Starts this Sunday, not Saturday. That was when the fixtures initially come out. Starts this Sunday with Chelsea at home, Brighton away, Arsenal at home. Do we need to get a win, or is it still at the moment about building performances to those more favourable fixtures coming in October?
Well, according to your favourite pundits on various mainstream sports stations, we probably need a win, because that's as far as their in-depth analysis of us will go. They'll look at the results and they'll see that we've got no wins, and they'll say after 3 more games, they'll say, well, Antonio is under pressure because he hasn't got a win for Bournemouth. They're winless under him so far. What I'm more interested in is the performances. I feel we should have got a win at Brentford. We're, unlucky to lose that goal, and it's probably a very, very even game, but those sorts of games can sometimes go your way. And I think the win is inevitably going to get the pressure off of the team and off of the manager. I don't really see, like I said, I don't really see the necessity. I obviously see the necessity for a win in terms of like points. And I'm listening to Chelsea fans talking about this match as like a must-win game. It's September and they're already in must-win territory coming down to the South Coast. So they're probably in a more perilous position than we are. But I'm just more interested in the performances, more interested in seeing how we perform in about a month, 2 months' time, when hopefully our full squad is available for selection, and we can look at some of the new players that we've really invested in, who are going to turn the club into moving it up to the next level, which is what we're sort of like all invested in, I guess.
We might try and bring Steve in for one more attempt in a moment. But Aaron, looking at September, for me, it's looking at just getting that win. We're in the new era. I'm not panicking. I'm not worried. I still think this is going to be a really good moment for us and the club. But it's just, it just settles everyone down. We were so close to getting it against Brentford. Just getting that win settles everyone down. We've got it. We've got the 3 points. And then I look at just getting that first win at home as well. So we can try and maybe nail that this Sunday.
Yeah, that's what was more galling about being the Brentford result. I think, going to Brentford and getting a draw is no disgrace. I think most teams will struggle to win there this season. And if it had been mid-season, I think we'd have all, fine, go home, happy with it. But because we were so close to that elusive first win. And as James said, not that we should really take too much notice of it, but the media don't half bang on about, Bournemouth. They got to love him with Gary O'Neill about how he was hard done by, which is fair enough opinion. But on the back of that, I think they're kind of some of them seem quite keen for us to fail with our new manager. And, on the face of it, if we go 8 games without a win, then the bare facts say that that hasn't been a good start to a season. But I think we all know a bit differently to that. I think if you look at the first 4 games, we've talked about them before. 2 points is probably as much, or if not more, than we might have expected from that. Maybe a win against West Ham, but they've obviously done very well since. And yes, obviously we'd love a win in the next 3 games, but it doesn't get any easier. I mean, just jumping ahead, Brighton away, obviously exceptionally difficult, and Arsenal are title contenders. So Chelsea is a big game. They are in a bit of dire straits at the moment. Their fans are not happy. They are not performed, but they are still Chelsea. And as we saw last season, if their players, or 1 or 2 or 3 of their players, turn up, then they're good enough to beat anybody. And I just hope that's not against us on Sunday. But if it is, then it is. And I don't think, as James said, people shouldn't really panic. And I certainly won't be panicking. And I think, we're already, as I said, there's still teams who haven't even got a point yet. Teams who won 1 point. I think they're far worse teams than us. I'm not worried in the slightest. But it would be great to get off the mark, because if we don't, then it puts huge pressure on that Wolves, Burnley, Everton trio in October.
Right, let's try and bring Steve back in. There we go. Right, Steve, are you with us?
How's this sounding?
Fantastic.
I've gone old school. I've reverted back to my phone on loudspeaker, so you might get a bit of residual noise from my kids shouting their heads off in the background somewhere. But yeah, I'm back in the room, hopefully.
And it's like I've switched you in midfield with James. I've just switched you over so you can mark different men.
We just float around. We're that good.
Do what I want, mate.
We're just talking about the September fixtures and how important they are, and whether we need to pick up points. And I think if we don't pick up enough points, does that put pressure on those more favourable games in October?
Yeah, there's an argument to say that there is, but we all know, we're all well aware that we're in the midst of a brand new process, and it's going to take a little bit of time. We can see that it's improving week on week, and I think like I've said before, anyone with the slightest bit about them isn't going to get on the back of the manager and the team. They realise what's happening. They can see, as we all can, slight improvements in our play most weeks, and we can see something coming together nicely. And I don't think it's going to put pressure. I don't think Andoni will allow there to be that sort of pressure put on his team. They were always, he's used to dealing with that sort of underdog tag, which we sort of have that mantle as well. Albeit there's a bit more pressure, I suppose, with the fact that it's something we've never tried before. But I think he's got enough about him to sort of calm the players down and just focus on improving this system. Picking up those points, and I think we'll pick up points. And I've said this before: we'll pick up points we don't expect to. It will happen. It's just the nature of football. So it could be in a position. We've still got 2 more games. Chelsea aren't looking great. Let's be honest. It's quite a winnable game the way they're playing at the moment. So you got to look beyond the name of Chelsea and say there's an opportunity there. And I think excuse me. I've got no doubt that we'll pick up some points, and I don't think there'll be any pressure at all.
So we're going to dive into the Chelsea preview very, very shortly, James. But it is a game of like the big spenders in January. Bournemouth, one of the big spenders. I think we're in the top 5. We're not getting close to Chelsea, though. I mean, we're not a top 6 side, but under Todd Bowley, they spent over £1 billion, and you're seeing some of the players that he's purchased and Chelsea have purchased. That's not just this window. But the weird thing is, James, is I don't know what they're trying to achieve. I mean, they're getting talent, but are they trying to fit a system? I don't know. They're just buying players to me.
I've got no idea. They're the beacon for everything that's filth stained in this English Premier League. Chelsea have won 24 points in 2023 in the calendar year. They've won 24 points. Chelsea have signed 21 players in 2023. That's an average of 1.1 point per player. That's what they're on at the moment. How are they averaging 1.1 point per signing? They spent £735 million in 2023. That's an average of £30.6 million per point. That's what we're watching. That's what we're paying to see. We're paying to see this accumulation of top trumps to no system whatsoever, and we've got to be in awe of it because they're worth loads of money. I just don't. I find it very difficult to get excited about this fixture. But I'm sure I'll be different on Sunday when we've got the 3 points. But I think our issue last season was we went into 2 games, one just after Christmas, where we went, we're at Stamford Bridge, difficult place to go, forgetting that we've won there 3 times in the Premier League. Difficult place to go though, Chelsea, just after Christmas, and we capitulated. We never looked like we really believed that we could get 3 points there. And then we took on Frank Lampard, who was on how many games did he lose on the trot? I think we gave him his only win as Chelsea manager for the second time. We're due one here. We were until last season a bit of a bogey team for Chelsea. So I think we're probably due one, and hopefully we'll get that win and stop everyone saying that we haven't won yet and put a bit of distance between us and the bottom 3, I guess.
Aaron, I mean, if some spice needed to be added, James might have done it. I mean, if Mudryk is watching this, he might want to turn up on Sunday. Probably won't even get on the pitch. But there's a lot of players in there. There's a lot of individual talent. As a team, don't seem to be clicking.
Yeah, well, that's my worry. As I said before, if they do click, then we could be in trouble, and just be our luck that they happen to click against us. And I imagine a lot of their players would have gone away in the international window, so hopefully Poch wouldn't have had too much time to spend with them or work on what's been going wrong. Because as rubbish as they had been, a lot of them are internationals. Looking at that list of players, I couldn't even pronounce, let alone spell most of their names. So it's a difficult one. But look, I think we've got to take the game. So we're going to have some players back. Tav's obviously back, as we know, which is a huge, huge boost to us. Still not, Adam Smith's obviously back. Still not sure about Tyler Adams. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's close. If he isn't, they said Tav wasn't close, and then he was on the bench against Brentford. So hopefully Tyler Adams should be pretty much there or thereabouts because we need him. And I guess then it's just Alex Scott and Dan Guattari who aren't still available. But, slowly they're coming back. Players are coming back. Brooksy scored again for Wales. We've got players in form. Ryan Christie's playing well. Dom was obviously scoring. So, yeah, I'm not confident because I do still worry about some of their players if they turn it on, and as James said, they got a must for them. It's a must-win fixture, and that does worry me a bit because they have got talent. But I'm looking forward to it. But I think it'll be a cracking game.
And just like us, Steve, they're under a new era as well with Mauricio Pochettino, who I think has had some really good times as a head coach, manager, not won things, but he did okay and pretty well at times for Tottenham. For them, do you look at Pochettino and are you worried about Sunday because of the experience he's got and what Chelsea side he might set up?
No, not really. I think the pressure's more on them than it is on us. Like James has so eloquently pointed out, the money that they've spent and the names that they've got, the manager who's got a bit of a reputation behind him, although as you say, he hasn't really won much. Albeit, I suppose he won the French league, didn't he? But I think everybody who manages PSG wins the French league. So I think the pressure's all on them, really. No one ever sees us going into a game against a top or so big top six side. We're always going to be the underdog, so the pressure's massively on them because they are underachieving hugely at the moment. I think Todd Bowley thinks it's monopoly, not football. He's just buying up everything, and it's not really paying in dividends as yet. They've got to get. But I think the worry is if and when it does click, who's that side going to be against? And let's just hope it's not us on the weekend.
And some really long contracts that these players have got for like 8 years, and I don't know enough about finances.
Well, they're all an FP. They're all on hire purchase, aren't they? These players spread it over.
I think it is so they can spread the cost of that transfer. I mean, surely that catches up with you at some point.
I think the APR's 565.6% or something on each of these deals.
Going into this weekend, you'll see the league table on the screen. Manchester City already top of the league with 4 wins out of 4. Come on to Nottingham Forest in a minute because that was the last team that Chelsea played. But the fixture this Sunday will be Chelsea 12th against AFC Bournemouth 16th. 2 points between the teams, James. But the last fixture for Chelsea at home was a 1-0 loss against Nottingham Forest. And Nottingham Forest didn't blow many teams away on the road last season. And early doors this season, they've got an away win. Didn't have much of the ball. But what they did do is turn the ball over quickly and go and get a goal for a new signing.
Yeah, and it highlights the factor, the point I was trying to make earlier, that this current incarnation of the Chelsea side that's been, we can look back to 6, 7, 8 months previous of last year is different from the Chelsea that is in our heads. The Chelsea under Mourinho and the Chelsea that plays in the Champions League and the Chelsea that progresses and the Chelsea that Fortress Stamford Bridge. And it's a really, really different Chelsea side. It's a different kind of mindset, I guess, to the team there. And there's nothing there that we should be particularly afraid of, and if we do go into it with fear, then we have an issue. Stamford Bridge, like I said, is the place where we've picked up most of our wins against Chelsea. There's only 2 teams that we've beaten more in the Premier League. One of them isn't in the Premier League anymore, and that's Leicester, and the other one's Everton. We've got Everton coming up, which is good news for everyone, I think. But yeah, no, like I said, the worst thing we can go into this game is with fear. I felt under the last management and under the manager before that, we went into games with fear when we were playing big, scary Chelsea and big, scary Spurs and big, scary Liverpool at Anfield. I don't get that feeling off of this manager that we've got at the moment. I get the feeling that this manager wants our players to enjoy their football, wants them to go out there and express themselves, want them to play a high press and to attack and to take shots on. Look at Ryan Christie. I don't recognise him. Who's this Ryan Christie that we got in over the summer? He's taking shots. He's making runs into the box. It's exciting football, and I'm looking forward to this match this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting match. I think the weather's going to be indifferent again, guys. We've had some lovely sunny weather recently, but I think it might be a wet one. When I had a look at the weather app yesterday, it looks like it's going to be rain again. So what does that do to this fixture? We'll have a look at both teams, see what type of players might be on the pitch. It's going to be predicted. We don't know a lot yet because we haven't seen the presser, but let's get an opposition view from Charlie Patrick from Chelsea Fan TV. Then we'll have a look at potential players that might start in this fixture.
Hi guys, Charlie here from Chelsea Fan TV to give my thoughts on the Bournemouth versus Chelsea game at the Vitality Stadium this weekend. And the pressure's on both sides really. Bournemouth obviously looking for their first win of the season under new manager, and Chelsea looking to improve on a not great start under Pochettino. 1 win from the first 4 games, and you've looked at those games and they're quite favourable fixtures as well. Defeats to West Ham, defeats to Nottingham Forest, and a draw to Liverpool. Only win coming against Luton, who you'd expect most teams to beat this season. In terms of our away from, I actually think we'll do better away from home than we will at home this season. I think when teams come out to play against us, it suits us better. We really struggle to break down a low block. So I think if Bournemouth are going to have any success, get men behind the ball and try and get us to break you down, because we don't seem to be very good at that. We don't particularly move the ball quick enough. We're not direct enough in our attacking play at this point in time. But, you know, trips to the Vitality Stadium not been the best for Chelsea over the years. Yes, we got the win last season in Frank Lampard's only win, and quite convincingly in the end, which I was quite surprised by. But this is going to be a tough game for me, really tough, because Bournemouth have got some decent players. Yes, they've been hampered with injuries as well, and it's a tough place to go. But Chelsea really need to kickstart their season in this game, and I'd almost put this down as a must-win for Chelsea. Probably is a must-win for Bournemouth as well. I think we'll probably have too much quality just for Bournemouth, but I think it'll be a really, really close game. We're going to have to be wary of a few players. Solanke, to name one. But yeah, look, this new look Bournemouth side spent a lot of money over the summer, Hollywood investment. You know, they're going to need to start seeing some improvement in the side at this early point of the season. And could the first win of the season come against Chelsea? Quite possibly. But if I'm being honest, I think we're going to have a little bit too much quality for you guys. And I think eventually it is going to need to click with under Pochettino, and these players are going to start doing the business on the pitch. So yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. We will struggle to break you down, but I think we've probably just got enough about us to do it. I don't know if I'm more speaking with head or heart on this. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 Chelsea win, and the Blues are going to get their season kick-started and make Bournemouth wait for their first win of the season just a little bit longer.
Now, if you're in the chat, you can't see this, by the way, but when I'm showing a video, I can actually see the guys on screen below, right? And there's a lot of facial expressions happening. Steve, he's saying, do a low block and you might have a chance against us. I can't see that.
No, I was thinking exactly that when he said that. I was thinking, there's no chance of that. This is going to be a basketball match, the epitome of one. It's just going to be attack, you attack, we attack, you attack, we attack. And, you know, that's the way it's going to go. It's going to be interesting, because if he's right in what he says, and that's the sort of style they're playing, and we're playing exactly the same style, like James said, this is going to be a hell of an entertaining game, and I'm more and more looking forward to going back to league football. Yeah, I still, you know, I think the pressure's completely on them than us. They've got, you know, the massive amount of money spent, big name manager, and they are a process like we are, but there's much more expectation on their shoulders than there is on ours. So I just think we go out and play our game. We might surprise them. I don't think they've looked very good at all. I saw them in a couple of games. West Ham game, they're appalling. The Forest game, they knocked on the door. This is the thing, and most of the games they've knocked on the door and got themselves in high up the pitch positions, but they've never really done anything. The amount of chances they've spurned, and I know they've had Nicholas Jackson up front, and I know he's got a bit of a good record, but equally he could have an amazing record if he could have finished some more of those chances. So he's not quite, at the races just yet. So there's a chance for us. Dom's in form. He's got a couple of goals behind him. Brooksy's got a couple of goals behind him. It's all good, baby. We're fine.
Aaron, think about Nicholas Jackson, coming to you in a moment, but I also was looking at James, and you called it before you saw that clip. He said, must win. No pressure then.
He did say must win. I also enjoyed the fact that he predicted a Chelsea win, a Bournemouth win, and a draw in the same analysis. It was fantastic. He eventually stuck on a 2-1 win to Chelsea, which he has to because he's a Chelsea fan. No one knows what's going to happen. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah. Thank you for your opposition view, though, Charlie Patrick. Do go check him out on
you.
Chelsea Fan TV and the Boost Brothers. He's got his own YouTube channel. Aaron, we nearly signed Nicholas Jackson, but he failed a medical. I don't know if it's called failed a medical, but we didn't take the chance. Bill Foley a few weeks ago says that was a mistake. Chelsea went in for Nicholas Jackson. He looked good in pre-season. He's got 1 goal so far. He's missed some good chances as well. We're not sure if he's going to be the next Drogba, but are you worried on Sunday about Nicholas Jackson?
Look, I was upset we didn't sign him. I think in hindsight, even more upset because I think he's not the top class striker that one of the big six need. And Chelsea fans beginning to get on his back a little bit already because, as you say, he's missed some chances, but he's getting in the right positions at least. But for a team like us, I think he'd be perfect. Perfect either playing alongside Dom, instead of Dom, on the left, wherever it might be. But because he's raw, he's still very young, he's raw. But if we added him to our squad, yeah. But am I scared about him? Yeah, a little bit. I think, I said that. I think he's got a lot of potential. But for all the money that they have spent, I know Nkunku's injured, but for all the money that they have spent, Sterling is the only one who seems to be able to put the ball in the net really at the moment consistently. So, and problem is we know his record against us is pretty good. Well, it was for the Man City days. So, he loves playing against Bournemouth. So that's the one we've got to watch. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big I'm not a big fan of Sterling, but for me, he's the danger man because he's done it before against us for more than one team. And for Chelsea, he's actually started the season quite well and looks the only one likely to score.
Now, we did say, James, that our season probably started after the international break because we're all hoping that we might have all these injured players back. I'm not sure if Sinisterra is going to be ready yet. Tyler Adams is on the turf, but probably not up to speed. Let me just cross over to the tactical board. Now, you're probably going to see AFC Bournemouth's lineup or the players that played in the Brentford game. Is Tavernier fit? We're not sure. We'll find out maybe in a day or two. And you'll see some Chelsea players that have gained some sort of knowledge from Chelsea fans about how they'll set up in a 4-3-3. Chilwell's being used as like an orthodox winger potentially. Do they drop into a 3-4-3? There's some matchups there. I mean, I've got Cook in there. Could it be Rothwell? What matchups are you looking at that could be a game changer for both teams, or more importantly, Bournemouth?
This boy Semenyo. I'm convinced that because I'm not sure that he's playing, wide right. He's floating around. He's doing different things, and he's a rarity in the game of a guy that wants to get the ball and just drive at people. He really excites me when he gets on the ball, and I just got this feeling that this season is going to be his year. You haven't put Brooksy in there. Brooksy, after he scored on the international break, he's flying, and we know that he's flying in pre-season. We know that he's making up for lost time, and we know that he's got the support of the fans behind him.
Can he play off the left, though, or are you now potentially trying Semenyo on the left?
I let them play wherever they want. That's Iriola's philosophy. There's no positions anymore, Kirk. This is dated stuff you're putting on the screen here. Yeah, chaos football. That's what we want. I like the chaos engine. Bring it on.
As part of the thumbnail in this episode as well. Steve, what are we looking for? Are we looking for the turnover of the football, but getting these players, Solanke, Semenyo, potentially Brooks on either side, maybe Billing involved? Are we trying to maybe match them up in the turnover? I mean, we're winning the ball really high. I think we're the second best team at doing it, and we're trying to get 3-on-3, 3-on-4.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've seen so far. Those exact, where whoever's been playing in those positions, those sort of front five, and then sometimes Cook and also the fullbacks have been involved at times, trying to win the ball, as high up as they can do. And I think there's opportunities there with the back line. They've still got Silva in there, who's not particularly quick. He's knocking on about 38, and he's not got if he's anything like me at that sort of age, I couldn't turn. I was like the Titanic turning around, and we get in behind players like that, and their fullbacks do like to bomb on as much as ours do. So there's gaps in behind the fullbacks for whoever's playing wide, whoever they go with to exploit. It's a little bit similar to the fullbacks of Spurs. I thought that was the place to hurt them. Unfortunately, we forgot about Maddison on that occasion, and he destroyed us. But I don't think they've got the quality in their midfield of Maddison. They haven't really got that creative player. So I feel there's a lot more opportunities here to really have a go at Chelsea, who are fragile. As long as we can look after a couple of players, like Aaron's already pointed out, Sterling's got that record against us, and he has been a threat in most of the games I've watched. He's one of those players that you just don't want to touch him sometimes when he's full tilt dancing into the box, and you just fear for your life that you're going to give away a penalty. So I think if we can keep players like him, a couple of creative players, quiet, I think we've got a very good chance in this game. I think it's a lot better chance than a lot of people think. It's not like James has already said, it's not the Chelsea of old. It's the Chelsea in a transition, and they're there to be got at.
A couple more questions on potential players against players. Aaron, I'm coming back to you again, actually. We just talked about Nicholas Jackson, but Senesi went away with his national team and didn't get much action. Do you want Sabani picking up Jackson? Do you want Senesi picking up Jackson? Is it a case that you're comfortable if either player picks them up? Because Senesi is a very, very good player, but he's been all right at the start of the season.
I wonder if we'll see Kelly back. Now he's had a couple of weeks to.
We might need pace
to get over. Yeah, but that's what I was thinking. And I think clearly Iraola, alluded to that. Why he picked Kelly against who was it? Tottenham. Is it Tottenham? Yeah. Needed him for that. So I'll be happy with any of those three. Zabani, as I said, was excellent against England. Senesi, I really do admire. They wasn't brilliant at Brentford, but we might need a bit of pace there to deal with Jackson and Sterling, perhaps. I'm pretty sure Sinisterra is fit. Didn't he play? He played for. He played for his country in his national break, and he's fully fit and raring to go, from what I can see. And Tavernier obviously should be fit as well. I mean, he played against Brentford, and no reason why he shouldn't be fully fit. So I would expect both of them to start, if I'm being perfectly honest, and Brooks and Semenyo to be on the bench. As good as they both are, that's the options we've got at the moment. I think Semenyo's been brilliant this season, and Brooks, it's got 3 goals already in the last 3 games, club and country. So, but for me, Iraola, from everything he's kind of said, is all about pace, and Sinisterra and Tavernier will be starting for me.
Ben has just said maybe not trained with us yet, but if he's fit, match fit, James, chuck him in. And the same question could be asked for Chelsea with Cole Palmer, and they just got him from Manchester City.
There was a famous Colombian who stepped off the plane in the northeast of the country decades ago and turned a game on its head and became a legend overnight. And his name was Faustino Esprilla. Playing under a manager who also liked to play open football, also liked to play attacking football. Lightning could strike twice. I do remember that was like a day in January, though, wasn't it? It was freezing cold. Yeah. I think he had a Merlot as well when he stepped off the plane. Didn't he have a glass of red wine and then they drove him straight to St. James's Park? Or maybe that's an urban myth. I don't know. Like I said, all these new players are just so thoroughly exciting. It's just nice to be excited about Bournemouth and have that feeling of that buzz around something new, really.
Is Lavia fit? Does anyone know? Is he now fit to play for Chelsea?
I don't think he is, no.
No? Okay.
It is exciting, and it's on Sunday for this fixture in the Premier League. We want to take this opportunity to thank you, the fans, for supporting Cherries Red Army nearly 3 years. You can become a member or donate to the channel at buymeacoffee.com/Cherries Red Army. Details in the description below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're on our way to 2,000. We're at less than 10 away from 1,750. Hit the like button. It's above Aaron. So smash the like button on this video. And we're now a podcast. So go follow us on Spotify. We're on a couple of other audio platforms as well. So I think it's time, guys, to maybe get the thoughts of those in the chat around the score predictions. So this is your 60-second warning for your score prediction on Sunday at Dean Court, AFC Bournemouth taking on Chelsea. Those score predictions in the chat. What do you think it will be? We've got a pretty good record at Dean Court. Didn't take anything off Chelsea last season, but we have got a pretty good record. And I'm going to show you the rest of the fixture list in the Premier League this weekend. And James, as I read them out, I want to get a really good prediction from you. What do you think could happen in the Premier League in any of these games? What's your bold prediction as I read them out? We've got Wolves taking on Liverpool, 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. Fulham against Luton, Tottenham taking on Sheffield United, West Ham against Manchester City, both teams unbeaten, Manchester United against Brighton, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Newcastle, big game for them against Brentford, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Everton, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest taking on Burnley in the Monday night kickoff. James, your Premier League bold prediction for the weekend?
My bold prediction for the weekend from this selection of fixtures is that Luton are going to get something against Fulham.
Luton are going to get something against Fulham. Because Charlie thinks, Steve, that everyone should beat Luton.
Yeah, possibly. But I was actually quite relatively surprised at how I watched them again. Was it West Ham? I thought they gave a good account of themselves. But I think they're going to trip up a couple of people along the way that you don't expect. Much like us in our first season. But if you're going to ask me the same question, or you're not?
No, if you want a twist on what James has gone,
I was just going to put one in there for you. But I think Gary O'Neill's going to turn over Liverpool 1-0.
God.
I mean, it would be a classic. I mean, let's be honest. That's Gary O'Neill. He bides himself another 6 games. So I would not be surprised.
He did it last season at home.
Liverpool do look a bit of a different
beast.
No,
that's just, I was just being silly.
Their groove again, Aaron. I don't know. Is there an upset there?
I don't think so. Not in that game. Liverpool look, as you said, different beasts this year. I think Spurs will come to beat Sheffield United. I mean, much as I don't think we're going to be in any relegation trouble, my first automatic thought is to want Sheffield United, Luton, Burnley, Everton, Forest, and Wolves to lose every week. Although I can see Luton getting something at Fulham, because I still think Fulham without Mitrovic could struggle this year. Although they did hang on to Palhinha, and I think if they'd lost him, they'd have struggled a lot more. So they'll probably be fine. Yeah, big, as you say, big game for Eddie against Franks and Co. I think, there's no pressure on Eddie Howe at the moment because of the way he turned around last season. But they've got one, they've lost 3 out of 4. If they lose another one, as I said, it's not pressure, but it's not great. So I expect them to come out like a charging bull and knocking Franks over.
I tell you who I can see some pressure on. Sorry, just to butt in is Ten Hag. If they go down to Brighton, I can, which is very possible in the way Brighton are playing at the moment. I can see him being in a bit of trouble there.
The scores are in the chat, but we are sort of sidetracking here a little bit, James. But I do have a little bit of a fear that doesn't keep me up at night, but I have a lot of time for Eddie Howe. I'm not a Newcastle fan, but I have this fear that he's not going to get a chance at a Champions League game. Of course he is, but I have this massive fear that everyone's just going to completely just over-exaggerate the situation, pretty similar to us. And they're just going to see, it was just a one-off.
I think the bar actually is surprisingly low at Newcastle because a trophy will do them. Given their reaction to being in, was it the semi-final or the final last year? Final. Given their reaction, they didn't score, but it was one of those finals again where like there's a story behind it and the fans are going down there excited, not like another Chelsea, Man United or Manchester City, Spurs final that we see all the time. Those sorts of things. It felt like something new, and it does feel like the fans up there will be happy with any trophy in any competition this season, and I think he gets a run in all 4 competitions. When they end this season trophyless, or they don't have a chance of winning a trophy, which could happen as soon as January, then you've got issues, I think. But I think he's got a lot of goodwill and a lot of time up there, especially as the time that like Newcastle fans have had in previous regimes and previous managers. They've been burnt a lot. I think they've got a lot of time for him.
He's got credit in the bank. He's definitely credit in the bank. And if you saw the Newcastle documentary, the amount of times Amanda Staveley kept saying, we're well ahead of schedule. This is, Eddie's brilliant. Eddie's brilliant. They're not going to panic.
No.
Right, let's bring it back in the room. AFC Bournemouth. Let's get some score predictions out. Wow, straight in there for Gene. Sammy created it many years ago. It's the famous 3-1. Or is that to the Cherries? Cherries 3-1. We're taking that Cherries 3-1. 3-2. Is that Cherries? Mark Singleton again? Yes, 3-2. We're playing at home. Of course it is. Ben Ives also going 3-2 Bournemouth. Then we've got Paul 2-0 to Bournemouth. Positive score predictions. Omid's going for a clean sheet 1-0. Steve's going for a classic similar to Liverpool a few years ago. 4-3 to the Cherries. And Sammy really wants it now. She really wants the 3-1 pop in. We have just lost Steve, but it's a good opportunity to go to James for the first score prediction on the screen. How are you feeling about Sunday?
For this Sunday, my prediction is we're going to win 5-1. We'll be last on Match of the Day, and all of the talk after the match from Alan Shearer and Gary Lineker and Ian Wright will be about Chelsea.
Absolutely, and the mess they're going to be in.
And I love it. I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Chris Hubble also wants the famous 3-1. Mark Cole wants a 2-1. Stephen Dye is going for a clean sheet 2-0. 3-2 from Alan. Ethan Burney is going for 2-1. Cameron Meach is also matching that, and Wing as well. And I don't think I've seen a Bournemouth loss yet, Aaron. And it is important that we continue to play well. It would be nice to get a few more points on the board. Forest have beaten them on the road. So why not Bournemouth do it at home? What's your score prediction for Sunday?
Yeah, look, depending on player availability, we can 100% get a win here, without a doubt. But I'm going to play a little bit safe because in the back of my mind, you know, they still drew with Liverpool. They're not a bad team. But I'm going to go for an exciting 2-2 draw, which I don't think will be a terrible result, much as we won that first win. But we can win, obviously. But 2-2 for me.
We just didn't get enough off them last year in a performance or goals or a result. And I just feel like we get something Sunday. Dom Solanke's just signed a new contract. There's a good buzz going round. I think we get a win. I think we win. Brooksie's had the week and 2 weeks of his life. Dom Solanke's had the week of his life. New baby, birthday, new contract. Dom Solanke penalty, anyone? Take it.
There's no way we're getting a penalty.
Over 500 days, guys.
You're getting giddy, mate.
You heard it here first, due a penalty. Shame that we've lost Steve again, unfortunately, but that's what happens when we're live. But it's been great to have you on. It's Cherries Red Army, YouTube and Twitter. If you're watching it, if you're listening to this back on a podcast, do follow us. And if you've not heard of the YouTube channel, pop on Cherries Red Army. It's been great again, guys. I do love these. I know they can sometimes be problematic because that's the world that we live in with Wi-Fi. But James, it's been great to have your input, your summarization of this September coming, and how you're feeling about this weekend. You've given your score result, but your final summary to the fans.
My final summary is like, I was just thinking how excited I am about Premier League football coming back. From a Bournemouth perspective, how excited I am about seeing Bournemouth again. We didn't feel that all of last season. I kind of felt like I knew what was going to happen in this fixture last season. I kind of felt like I knew what was going to go down. I ain't got a clue what's going to happen this weekend. I don't know who's going to play. I don't know what system we're going to play. All I know is that it's definitely going to be exciting. And that, you know, you pay money to be entertained. We're going to get entertaining football this season. Let's not get giddy. Let's have some fun with the journey. Let's enjoy it.
Thank you to everyone who's interacted in the chat, all the lovely comments and your good comments as well about the preview and other things we've discussed. There's a good comment in there from Stephen Dyer, so check that out. Ethan Burney, who's a regular at Dean Court, can't make it this Sunday by the looks of it, Aaron, but he is now an official referee and he's doing some great stuff and he's going to be refereeing. So little shout out for Ethan there, Aaron.
Yeah, well, a great legend Ethan Burney is. I'd love to see him around Dean Court and away games. And yeah, brilliant to see he's started his career in refereeing. And I'm sure he would put quite a few of the Premier League refs to shame. Absolutely.
100% back that up. Right. Cheers, James. Cheers, Aaron. Thank you very much,
for having me,
Steve. And he would be going for a Bournemouth win. I'm going to put it out there. Reckon he's going for a Bournemouth win. If you go into the game, stay safe. If you're travelling down, take care because it might be a wet day again at Dean Court. If you're following the Cherries, wherever you are in the world, get behind the team, follow the channel, subscribe, hit the like button. If you're watching this back on replay, get your comments in there as well. Can the Cherries cause a little bit of chaos? Keep performing. Maybe take something off the Blues this weekend. Enjoy the rest of your week. Look after yourself. From me, Aaron, James, and Steve. We'll see you on the next one. Up, Cherries.
Up the Cherries.